Now, China says it has no comment on what's happening in the U.S. It says the elections are America's internal affairs. But Beijing is keenly watching results after years of trade and diplomatic tensions under the Trump administration. Lynette Lim joins us now from Shanghai. Lynette, both candidates have signaled that they are going to be tough on China. Regardless of who wins tonight, it looks like it's going to be a bumpy ride for U.S.-China ties for the next few years.
That's right, Ottilie. That appears to also be the expectation among many Chinese people, that regardless of the winning, whoever wins, that, ties won't be on the mend soon. And that's because there's, wide bipartisan support for a stronger China policy, for a stronger stance to be taken against China. If Mr. Trump wins, a lot of people within China thinks that he's likely to continue the policies that he put in place, especially over the last 2 years, targeting China, essentially trying to force China to change its state-led development model, also targeting China's corporate champions like Huawei. We also believe that, if Mr. Biden were to win, he's likely to continue, this direction, but he's likely to adopt a more diplomatic posture. He's likely to go through, proper channels of communication, for example, and also this could be good in terms of, in terms of allowing both sides to communicate better, but this also means that he's likely to bridge, allies that President Trump has alienated over the years, especially the European Union, for example. And this could mean a broader coalition could be constructed to counter China's rise, especially within the West.
Lynette, how closely watched is this election? How are ordinary Chinese sort of viewing these results?
This is perhaps one of the most closely watched U.S. election for the Chinese people, particularly because of the last 2 years that we've seen the U.S.-China trade tensions play out. So it's important to them in the sense of their livelihoods, in the sense that there's been a lot of anxiety over how, U.S. pressures on China could impact their livelihoods, could impact China's development in the future. So a lot of people are following, but not necessarily really engaging with, the substance of the debates. A lot of people react to it with a mixture of fascination, disgust, bemusement, and also scorn. For years, the U.S. has been, the leader of the world economy, taking this holier-than-thou approach, berating countries for the way they behave. And now you see President Donald Trump talking about, rejecting the outcome of the election, for example, declaring victory even before all the votes are tallied. So a lot of young Chinese, for example, earlier today in the lift of the office building, they were talking about how, this is essentially a joke, and they were looking at this as a circus. One young lady, I overheard her saying how America is a very diverse country, but you have two white men in their 70s being the only candidates. So for a lot of the Chinese, it's actually very interesting for them, and although much of the coverage is hard to access because, it's hard to access because of the firewall, because of China's internet controls, there's still quite a lot that comes through. And a lot of them see that, it may not necessarily show democracy to be in a good light. It may actually help to bolster their own faith in China and their own faith in China's unique system of development. Some people I spoke with, for example, the lady that comes to clean our office on a weekly basis, she says that, President Donald Trump, the way he acts, the way he speaks, and the things that he says is very unbecoming, not only of a president, but of a human being. So she's actually shocked that there's a possibility that he could be re-elected.